What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 203 of the Tastecast, our weekly podcast where we talk about all things gaming. My name's Seth, and joining me today is Chevy. Of course, Chevy, it's been a little bit, but here we are. We're ready to talk about some things coming out very soon. Really excited to talk about that and the games we've been playing, of course. But how you doing? And are you excited to have this conversation?
Doing pretty good. It's been a long day. I had a dentist appointment this morning, so I've been up all day. Definitely looking forward to, I got, obviously a little sneak peek of what we're going to talk about, and there's some stuff in there obviously I'm looking forward to. So, and yeah, yourself?
I'm good. I'm glad to be doing this episode. It's been like a week and a half since we've done an episode, but like I said, it's been a busy week. So yeah, it'd be nice to sit down and actually talk about some games. I've been playing plenty of games when I've had time, and got a lot of stuff to say on that. So yeah, with that, let's jump into what we've been playing.
Okay.
And talk about the games we've been playing. You want to start us off?
Sure. Let me knock out all the easy ones first. Played some Enshrouded, game of the month.
Oh yeah.
Can't talk about it, but I played it.
Hopefully we can get another play session before the end of the month.
Yeah, agreed. I played F123, which is a PlayStation Plus game. Can't talk about it. Talk about it at the end of the month, though.
It's a vroom vroom game, dude. That game,
it is a vroom vroom game.
You just drive, baby.
I played Sifu, PlayStation Plus game. Can't talk about it. Talk about it at the end of the month on Plus Club. And then some easy ones. Hard to call it playing, but used the Dragon's Dogma Character Creator.
Oh yeah.
I made like 6 or 7 characters. I settled for 2, but honestly, very, very nice character creator. I wish more games were as good, if not better. In fact, but
it's kind of wild that it has such a good character creator. The amount of characters I've seen made in it has been insane. From ones that look super accurate, you wouldn't even have to tell me what you made. You can tell just by looking at it, to like crazy creations that like you can still kind of tell what's supposed to be like that weird Pikachu one.
Dude, thing's cursed.
I think it's terrible. Yeah. But still you can do it. Like it seems I haven't touched it, but I kind of wanted to wait for the game to come out before I make my character. But with the amount of time Sarah put into the character creator, I think she put like over 15 hours into it, which it's just a character creator. One review I saw for that character creator was like this game's great. Hopefully they had gameplay soon. But just with the amount of time she's put into it and seeing all the stuff people are making, I'm just like, maybe I should download it just to get a head start on making a character. But I didn't want to make a character and then sit there and wait until I can actually finally play it. Like,
it's 2 days away now. So
yep, coming out soon. 2 days?
21st, right?
I think it's the 22nd it comes out.
Yeah,
maybe early
2 to 3
early
days
access or something.
I'm not sure.
What's in the comments?
Yeah, but yeah, I did. Made a few characters that I settled on an archer that I'll probably play, just because it's more my style, anyways. And then my pawn is a caster. So
nice. I am leaning towards, I forgot if it's a warrior or fighter, but that vocation,
the melee person.
Yeah. Which doesn't sound that exciting, but I keep seeing stuff on X of gameplay, and this dude like charged up his sword, ran at a dude and hit him really hard.
I saw
and
you read or comment on that.
He flew and hit the fucking wall and bounced off it. I was like, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like that looked just fun. So
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And I'm sure there'll be multiple weapon types, so you don't have to just be sword and board. Obviously, you just kind of brought up a 200 weapons.
Yeah, somebody said they can use maces now, which is cool to hear.
I'm a pretty big fan of mace and shield combos.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know. Very cool. I'm a little nervous though, because I know that's a massive game. Among other things I've been playing, which I will bring up here shortly. So, do you have anything else you wanted to say on the Dragon's Dogma Character Creator?
Nope, just haven't done it. Haven't used it.
The other easy one I could talk about is the playtest for Vindictus Defying Fate.
Oh shit, I played that.
Yeah. Beautiful. It's on Unreal 5, I believe.
I think some people on X would agree with you about the beautiful aspect.
It's beautiful, and it's beautiful. But just like, from the Unreal standpoint, it's a nice looking game. But Vindictus was a really good looking game for its time too.
When it was, before it came out here, it was out in Korea, and at the time it was like super like ahead of the time for like free to play games graphically, and like physics I think is using Source Engine.
I still think the physics in it are really good.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy. And it was really weird too because I had found out like 2 days before I was seeing things all over the place for Vindictus that it even existed. So that's how out of the loop I was on it. I didn't even know a new Vindictus was coming out. And then I had heard somebody talk about Vindictus Defying Fate. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
It's coming out. I was like, is that like a revival? Is it a remake? Like what is that? And then like 2 days later, all the boob physics videos came out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay. And then you had played it and told me it was kind of like a Souls-like. And I was like,
kind of, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so to go to that point, I had no idea what I was getting to either because it just all of a sudden was there. I was like, well, I want to try it. I love the original Vindictus, at least, when I played it.
Yeah, it was great.
So yeah, I tried it out. The move combos and stuff like that for Fiona, which is the person I also played in the original game, were super familiar. I don't know if they're identical, but they felt like they were the original.
They're similar,
combo.
but there's some new stuff too because I played her and I played Lon. And they both feel snappy and quick, just like in Vindictus, but there's definitely some...
Well, hotkeys, I guess, is a new thing. Or at least, I don't know.
Like moves, that I was doing that definitely felt new and fresh.
Yeah, I remember, though, the one that, and it's still really good in this one, is the 4 swings and then heavy for that kick.
Yep.
So good. So, though, I kind of miss, like, launching people, watching them bounce in the first game. So
It's interesting because it looks like a better-looking, newer Vindictus. The enemies look like better versions of the original enemies in Vindictus. The characters are from Vindictus, just like, from Mabinogi, from back in the day, if you guys know about that game. And it was really weird because I was like, this could be like a cool new Vindictus game. But then I'm playing and I'm like, is it a single player game?
Yeah, so that's kind of my...
Because if it is, I don't know if I'm going to play it.
Well, it's an MMO company making it, and that doesn't mean they can't make a single player game. I'm really hoping the game has multiplayer.
I'm hoping this is just like a tech demo.
Yeah.
Or like just kind of a proof of concept.
It's definitely early because any treasure chests you find literally have a huge sign that go work in progress.
Well, there's different directions you go that were blocked off that said work in progress as well. So, because I was like, this is just a big hallway I'm running through. So
hopefully, the plan is to make it multiplayer. If it's multiplayer, I'm down. Because from what I played, it's pretty fun. I just think the boss fights are a little tricky because it's not as good. It's not as good at like tells as like a Souls game is, and so like they're just kind of going instantly, and you have to be pretty snappy on the response time, or else you're gonna get hit, and they truck you when they do hit you.
I did pretty good against them just because I was dodging nonstop, which I thought was kind of shitty because I felt like the AI wasn't that smart. But yeah, when they do hit you, it hits hard. Did you get to the archer boss?
Yeah.
He was kind of annoying for me.
That's the one I was like, I don't have the patience.
Okay,
now.
Interesting. Yeah, because that's...
the first boss, I think I obviously had no idea what I was getting into. So the first time he killed me, and then I was like, okay, I got to block and dodge and stuff. So, because I was just face rolling. And then I went in the second time and won. And then I got to the archer and I was like, dude, I can't do this right now. I'm like not in the right mindset. This is not what I thought I was signing up for. So
yeah. For anybody who doesn't know though, real quick, Vindictus originally was a free-to-play like third-person action RPG where you play with friends from a hub, go on missions, fight stuff. It's pretty cool. Definitely, this was still kind of fun last time we played it. Although I think a lot of the menus are a little archaic and old school. I think
the gameplay loop itself is still fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the big difference here with this version of Vindictus that I'm hoping will have multiplayer is in the what was this, like a beta test? I think it was a beta test of some kind.
It is. Playtest.
You could only play by yourself, so maybe it is just a single player game. And the original game wasn't a Souls-like. It was just an action game that had RPG elements to it. In this, there are bonfires. Basically,
don't really do anything, but yeah,
they don't respawn enemies, but you rest at them, and you get resources back. You get your essentially essences refilled.
Yeah.
Which is a interesting direction. Part of me is like, I hate that because you're not a full-on Souls-like. So what's the point? But at the same time, too, it didn't change up the combat enough to make me worried about them trying to be a Souls-like to the point where it's not Vindictus anymore. So yeah,
the game is also just not even close to finished. So
it's not, because there's not a lot of destructible shit in the environments. There's pretty empty in the environments. The original Vindictus had a lot of like breakable shit everywhere.
And boxes and stuff,
you could pick up a lot of things and throw it at people. You could pick up the enemies and throw them. So like a lot of that wasn't there anymore. And I would really hate to see the game not have that, because that was a huge factor of the original Vindictus. So to call it Vindictus, even though it does have a lot of the visual elements that looks just like Vindictus to me, without a lot of that stuff that really made the first game impressive at the time, it would kind of feel like it would fall flat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I probably should just look into it some more. And if you have any info, please let us know below. But
like I said, I found out like 2 days before like officially it was like getting talked about.
Yeah, but if there's like a big plan for like, to be this multiplayer game, and it's just a similar idea, but the focus is going to be more towards like a more soul system and less of a just run into level and mob thing. I'm not opposed to that. I'd still be kind of curious. I just hope, I just need to know the plan, I guess, before I have a solid opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
But it plays pretty well. I'm pretty hopeful for it. I also, I'm going to rub some people the wrong way here, but give huge props to Korea for not giving a single fuck about other people's sensitivities. So...
Yeah, as much as the sexiness of the different Korean games
is excessive
that everybody's talking about lately, is not really something that's a big pull for me in gaming. I am very much of the opinion that they should be able to do that, and if you don't want that in your game, don't play it. Pick an outfit that doesn't show that, or whatever. But like it's just a product. Like we've talked about this before, but like there's porn games out there. Nobody's bitching about those. There's
some of those are vile.
Yeah. You have to be kind of crazy, like go out of your way to start targeting those. But a couple games come out and they're trying to attract a certain audience with pretty impressive physics in certain parts of the body. And for people who are into that, who cares? It doesn't fucking matter. Is the game fun? That's what matters. And so, yeah, I think a lot of the people who are getting upset by that or saying that the people who like that are some kind of degenerate piece of shit, incel, virgin, or whatever, it's just ridiculous. So there's different people with different interests. So there's more to the game than just those physics. I've played the beta, and there's a whole game there. There's just like 2 outfits you can put on Fiona.
That was like back when we played Dragon's Crown.
Yeah,
like that's a whole ass game.
Well, Dragon's Crown is one of the only games that I felt ashamed playing when people would ask me about it, until I could get them to watch the game a little more. I'm like, there's a legit game here, but the art style is very crazy. So
yeah,
but yeah, I fully embrace like South Korean games. Bringing back, being blatant about wanting to have sexy characters. Like it's not a big pull for me. What's that one game? The other one.
The one I play?
No, the other one's coming out. Everyone's talking about. Oh, there's 2 games everybody's talking about. Stellar Blade. As we've been watching it and reacting to it since it's been announced, has never been a big pull for me. In like. The art style is kind of like whatever. It looks like a nice game. The graphics are nice, but like the art style, the costumes or the outfits aren't that cool to me. Gameplay looks pretty fun. But then recently there's like all these videos, because that demo got leaked, of like borderline a naked outfit that apparently makes the game harder if you wear it, which I think is an interesting shtick. Yeah. But the physics they put into that character's thighs and ass when she goes up and down a ladder is interesting, in my opinion. As a tech dude, I'm like, that's crazy you guys put that much work into that, because they're not like lazy physics. They put a lot of work into it. But at the same time, a lot of people are going crazy about it. A lot of people are angry about it. I'm just like, fucking cool, dude. Do it. Like, if you guys want to do that, if this builds hype, if the game sells well, it can show there's a market for this shit, you know, because we've seen really strong pushes for the exact opposite of sexiness in games. And a lot of times it works. It's fine. But then sometimes it feels pretty obvious what they're trying to do there, and it upsets people. And I would just like a world where everybody can play the fucking games they want to play, enjoy the games they want to enjoy, and people aren't saying, you know, your game that appeals to your interests is shitty and bad, and they're saying the exact same thing to the person who likes the other kind of game. It's boring. So yeah, I'm all for them doing that if they want to do it. On that note, in Vindictus, Defying Fate, there are 2 outfits for Fiona. I went through all of them because in the game you can go through them. I went through Lon's as well.
Like 5?
Yeah, there's 5, but there's 2 that are like wild.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's focused on the one outfit where she's wearing like a white dress.
Like a sundress thing.
That's being generous. It's borderline fucking lingerie. But everybody's focusing on that. But if you go into the outfits, she has like 3 outfits that are like full on armor, fully dressed. Can't even really see physics. But if you pick that white dress, it's quite revealing, and the physics are fucking wild. I was actually kind of impressed with like the weight of the physics on it. I was like, because back in the day you play like DOA and like all these other games with like boob physics, and later you saw stomach physics on that one guy from Street Fighter, which I was like, that's kind of an interesting thing to do.
Didn't Tekken have a dude like that too?
Probably.
I can't remember.
But seeing that, because it's been kind of absent from gaming for a while, is like, it's come a long way. It's interesting. But that outfit, and then there's one where she has like a half cut hoodie, and
right.
they like hang out the bottom, and they're like just flying all over the place. Like it's crazy. But other than that, her moveset's good. She has other outfits that are like fully clothed, fully armored. So a little bit for everybody, I guess, in that regard. And if they really were worried about like offending people, they could always add an option too, where like if you don't want to see that kind of content, maybe it would like just put people in that outfit in like a default outfit if they want to, because then it'd make everybody happy. But I don't know. I just figure I would talk about it because that's been quite the topic for like a week now. So, but the game is interesting so far. I think it's a good base. I really need to know what they're doing with it though.
Yeah, same. Because if there's no like longevity plan to it, I got enough stuff to play, to be honest.
Sure. Yeah.
Unless you have more to say?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna move on then. I've been playing mostly just because I can sit down and just play it without thinking too much. I've been playing a lot of Backpack Battles that has gone into early access at this point. It was a free-to-play demo before. They're letting people buy it now. They added, I guess, in case you don't know what it is a game where you pick an archetype. So like a ranger, a wizard, a fighter, etc. And then they have their own specialized backpack, which has its own perks. So an example is like the necromancer or wizard or whatever she is. Any items that activate in her backpack will put a stack of poison on the enemy, for example. And then like the fighter is, if you drop under 50% health, you berserk, and everything in the backpack activates 40% or 50 or 40% faster, or something like that. And then you just buy a bunch of items and buy more backpack pieces, which some have passives, some don't, some are just space. And you just it's essentially a glorified spreadsheet. You just make a bunch of stats and try to buff any attacks you do have, and try to beat real people. That is not bots, though they are played as bots because the entire game's automated. But you basically trade spreadsheets with someone, and then the fight happens, and it has a ranked mode and everything. So I really like it. I'm not doing any justice. I would just recommend checking it out on Steam if you're curious and watching like a video or two on it. It's been real nice for me though, because like you can play the game with the mouse, and that's it, and then I can just do that while like catching up on YouTube or watching a show or something like that. It's been a lot of fun. So definitely suggest that one. Let's see. Played a little bit of the finals, which is in season 2 now, and by a little bit I mean a day. But it is interesting to see the new stuff they've added. I haven't got a chance to play with all of it yet, but the new mode is a fun twist on the payload mode you'd see in a lot of competitive shooters. Most people are probably going to be familiar with Overwatch. Not my favorite mode in games, just in general, and that includes this. I do think cash out is more fun. I don't dislike the payload mode, but and I think it's good to have another mode because you can't just do one thing. I think it gets a little repetitive doing one mode over and over and over again. So
yeah. Just to catch everybody up real quick. So season 2 has come out. It has a whole new battle pass, 96 or 97 new pieces of a bunch of shit. Skins, outfits, charms, all sorts of stuff. New mode is 5v5, which is new to the finals. Before that, it's been 3v3v3. Yeah. So now you can actually have 5 people in a party if you want, which is kind of cool, because before you had to, it's one of those games where you can only have 2 of your friends with you at a time, and now you can have 4 people with you, which is awesome. Although you can really tell when you're fighting against a team of 5 who know each other, because I kill a dude and then a sniper just shoots me right after I kill him instantly. And I'm like, oh, he told his friend. Okay, I get it. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically payload where you have a huge platform that starts in the center of the map. When your team is on it, it starts moving in the direction of where you need it to go. When it's contested, it depends on how many people are on it. When you have 3 people or more, it moves at its max speed in that direction. But when it's contested, you're fighting over it. When you've cleared the team, it starts heading the other direction. You can take it back, and then it goes into a overtime mode, basically, where if it is on your side or their side of the line in the center of the map,
and the last one on it,
if they're able to clear you off of the platform, they win instantly. So you either have to get into the goal or get into overtime and survive, basically. And then, yeah, with the classes, you got anti-gravity grenade with the heavy. You got a dematerializer, I think it's what it's called, with the medium, which basically gets rid of surfaces temporarily. You get 3 charges, which is fucking wild. It actually has made me interested in the medium, finally. And then the light has gateway, I think it's called, where it's basically a portal. You can set up one end, throw the other end, and you can teleport in between. You can also throw grenades and shoot rockets through that portal, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, interesting. I was gonna say it's kind of like the chick from Apex, but that's a little different.
Yeah. Well, with this game, they definitely wanted more utility things you can do with it, which is kind of interesting. And then the medium has a new basically move. I think it's the medium. I'm pretty sure it's the medium that can change objects into different objects. Yeah, whether you find a toxic barrel and you want to turn into a explosive one. It's on a rotation though. It's always a set of some guy showed it on a video where he started with this barrel and he switched over to the next one, and then he had that one next to it and switched over to the next one, and it always goes to the next one. It's not random. So which is interesting, unless it is now. But anyway, one example people show when it comes to that is if someone has mines all over the cash out, you can run up and it has a spread, so you can change multiple things into different objects. And he basically runs up and turns a bunch of mines into a chair and a bunch of trees and shit. So it's kind of a way to it's like when you play COD and you have that hacker ability where you can change people's minds into your minds and shit. It's kind of like that, only a very finals twist. And then you have a 3-round burst pistol for the light. You have a 3-round burst FAMAS for the medium. And you have a shotgun you can only shoot from the hip with the heavy. So just want to catch everybody up because I've also been cracking the fuck out on this game.
Yeah, so the only toy I've played with out of all those is the FAMAS. I hate it.
I finally figured out what I don't like about it. I was playing with Cody, and from a distance, I was fucking tagging people with it, and I was like, this is actually really nice. It's got really good accuracy. I'm getting 3 rounds into people from a distance, but up close, I just completely fucking hated it. Because people are in my face, I'm going, brah, 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 brah. I'm getting hits, but like it's not enough DPS basically, as opposed to heavy with the fucking flamethrower, which I don't know what they did with the flamethrower in season 2, but it fucking wrecks. Like I was hitting my stride.
I think they buffed it right before season 2.
They had to have, because like I noticed a lot of people are using it. I'm like, why are you guys using it so much? So I started using it, and me and Cody were playing, and I hit my stride, and I was just fucking wrecking people left and right. I was charging through people, hitting with the flamethrower. I charged through another dude. It's a blast.
It's funny, most of the kills I got with the flamethrower, I probably shouldn't be saying too much because obviously people are going to smarten up to things, but it doesn't matter. When they're on the platform, if you walk at an angle at it and you just barely go over the lip, it'll like engulf a huge section of it, and you're covered. So I'll just cook people on the platform, following the platform.
Yeah, I'll be on the platform, and I'll put down, I'll bring the little like half walls you can have, and I'll just like stand behind it, and like they're shooting at me, but where my head's at is just fire, so they can't really see where the hell I'm at. Yeah. It's a lot of fun, especially on the platform. But even in Cash Out, I've been using it a lot. So quick cash is what it's called. I just call it Cash Out.
I like the flamethrower.
It's a lot of fun.
I like the default gun for them. I can't remember what it's called.
The LMG. I forgot the name of it.
And then
they really nerfed that fucker though, because like its recoil's crazy. I did notice though when you burst fire with it, which felt very much like Battlefield. Go figure. It was pretty good again, but the Lewis gun is still really good.
Anyways, but
yeah.
And then the hammer, if you can, I mean, the flamethrower is kind of the same. If you're in a situation where you can be close enough to use it, it's fun. But
yeah,
holy crap, it sucks when that's all you got. Anyways, yeah, it's been fun. I hope that they can continue to be creative and keep the ball rolling with a lot of this stuff. I kind of hate that a lot of discussions when it comes to like gaming and stuff like that is always like, and it doesn't matter the game, it could be a single player game, multiplayer, whatever. People like, as soon as like the population drops, people like have an opinion on it. Like,
yeah, it's weird
that's just a natural thing that happens to games. Like,
yeah, and if you have to explain it to somebody, you shouldn't be explaining it to them because they're dumb. But it's just stupid that people want games to fail. Like, why would you want that? Why is that exciting for you? It's fucking stupid. It's not even worth talking about.
Yeah. Really, my point was like, as long as there's enough people to keep playing, then I don't really care. That's the dev's problem to deal with, not mine. Like, so anyways,
yeah.
It's been fun enough. It's not a lot to add on to that though. You know, they just added stuff, new mode, played a little bit.
Well, so we don't double up, I'm gonna talk about it real quick. Okay. Because I've also been playing a lot of the finals. I am level 33, 34, 35, somewhere mid 30s on the battle pass. Well, I bought the premium battle pass, so it gives you the first 20 levels. 20, so I've technically earned like 13, 14 levels in about a day and a half. So I'm making my way through it. I got to pace myself though, because in season 1 of the finals, I beat the whole battle pass in 28 days, and it's like a 3-month thing. So it was a good way to burn myself out. And they did bring some new stuff to it every once in a while. This season's really interesting though, because not only they got rid of weeklies, which is weird. They have dailies.
Oh, right.
You do the dailies, but now instead of weeklies, they have mini battle passes that are free. And so
contracts, or
yeah, you finish the contracts, and if you finish them all, you get an item. And so I got a little platform charm for completing the first one. The second one I completed, I got some yellow gloves that have a sponsor on it. And then as of last time I played, it said 3 days until the next one opens. So if you look at it, looks like there's 20 tiers. So it seems like every couple of days throughout the season, there's going to be these like 5-day long events to be coming back for to unlock specific pieces of stuff, which is much more interesting than weeklies. The thing that sucks is I've already finished both tiers.
Yeah.
And I got to wait a couple days. Not a big deal, but the wait kind of sucks.
I mean, it's effectively adding quests to a competitive game, though.
Yeah, so. And it's worth it because I got gloves I wanted. I'm actually wearing it with one of my characters, so it's not throwaway items. So it's kind of an interesting thing that they're doing here, because before they had dailies and then a daily bonus if you got all your dailies done. I think they got rid of the daily bonus, but you got your dailies.
Better now, anyways.
Yeah, you got your dailies, and then they had weeklies. Those are gone in place of this system, which is really interesting. And then the battle pass, which obviously you can opt into. But that was a criticism you both had with the battle pass originally, is there's a lot of premium stuff, but not a whole lot of free stuff.
It was.
But they've added this tier system that you can just, as long as you're playing the game, every like 5 days or so, there'll be new stuff for you to unlock. So
also, and they may have done this before season 2. I wasn't playing very actively, but they've made to where you can actually see what the level up rewards are.
Yeah, which is cool. They've done a lot of little things. One really small thing they did that I really appreciate is when you finish a match, you can re-queue for the next match before going back
to out.
Yeah, because before you had to keep going back to the main menu.
It probably helps too if you're on a roll to just keep going.
Yeah, and what's cool is it just accumulates all the XP every match until you finally finish it, and then it just goes through.
That probably feels good.
It feels good, yeah. It's obviously the same thing, but the placebo effect of just like seeing a big chunk of XP as opposed to these little chunks. If you're just playing and then you stop and you get this huge chunk, it's nice to see. Yeah. So you see that progress. So I main a heavy in the finals, and I'm still maining heavy. Really enjoy it. The gravity grenade, I'm still trying to find a reason to be using it. I think it's fun, but there's no reason to use it so far. One thing I really like about the new 5v5 mode is it has completely forced everybody to change the way they play their classes, which is neat to see. When I play quick cash, you have 6 character slots basically, and I've already had 3 characters. I had a light, medium, and heavy. I've made 3 new light, medium, and heavies for the new mode.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Because my heavy for quick cash is about running through walls and just murdering people as quick as possible. And then I have a dome shield, but everything else is offensive. With the new mode, because you have to hang out on that fucking platform for so long, there's all these meta things happening where people like have these... there's things to expect basically, and one thing is snipers are absolutely 100% fucking useless in quick cash. If you're playing sniper in quick cash, you're not helping the team. But if you're a good sniper in the new mode, I forgot what it's called, you can be effective.
But if menace,
but if there's 3 of you, if there's 3 snipers on a fucking 5 person team, somebody switch out, because you guys are wasting people's time. Because we need people on the fucking platform. There's too many snipers, and most of them suck. But every once in a while you get a guy who's really fucking good, and it's like, okay, you're getting a lot of kills, you're helping us.
I also feel like maybe a lot of heavies aren't using it that much, but like I still use the personal shield.
Okay, so I thought that thing was fucking useless at quick cash. I know you like to use it. There's a lot of times it did come in helpful for you, but I always use the charge because I can like decide what walls to go through, stuff like that, kill people. In this mode, it is fucking, in my opinion, mandatory to bring that shield. Yeah. It is the most useful tool. One of the, just like if you're a medium, not only should you be bringing the heal ray, you should be bringing your APS turret. It is a game changer. It blows up grenades before they get close.
Yeah.
And so if you have a heavy on the platform, which I typically play, I bring the dome shield. I do bring a rocket launcher just because sometimes there's a fucking sniper on a building and I just shoot it at him and blow up the place he's shooting from.
Yeah.
Or if they're up in the goddamn crane, I just shoot that thing 3 times and drop the whole fucking crane because I'm not dealing with that. But anyway, I'll use the shield, which is way more powerful than the dome shield now, which feels right. It feels like a proper special move to use because the dome shield breaks pretty quick now, and the shield takes rounds all day. You just have to aim it where people are shooting. But anyway, you get a heavy with that thing and the dome shield, and then you bring barriers, which I do. I block off both entrances, so it's harder for people to get in. They have to climb over. Then if you got a medium, put jump pads behind those things, so when they land, they get launched when they hop over the wall. And then use dome shield, and then when you're taking a lot of fire, pull out the big shield, block everybody while they shoot back, have someone healing you while they got the APS down, so when people are throwing grenades, they're just blowing up in the air and they're not getting in there and gassing up the place and shit or blowing things up. If you get that synergy, it feels so fucking good. But these are all things that a lot of people weren't using in quick cash because it doesn't make sense to, really. But because you're in defense mode on this platform, it's completely changed the game. So it's kind of neat that there's 2 modes now. There's that third mode, but no, I don't fucking play it. Where I get not only different experiences through the modes, but I have different builds for these modes. It feels like completely different games almost. So I've been really enjoying the 5v5 mode. It's a lot of fun, but it can also be like pull my hair out of my head, frustrating when you have teammates who just do not understand to be on the fucking platform. The platform has to move to win.
Well, it's the same as any objective. The game's objective based, and people treat it like deathmatch.
I just think it's such a simple premise, and I will just watch people. I'll be like the only guy trying to take the fucking platform, and then I'll watch people spectating, and they're just like in a window somewhere, like blocks away from the objective, just peeking out and looking around shit, and someone's on a rooftop just missing every fucking shot with a sniper rifle. They'll get like 1 hit, but it doesn't even matter because they didn't kill them. And I'm just like, if you just ran at the platform and died, you'd be helping me more than you're doing right now, because at least you'd be cannon fodder. So yeah, I hope it's just a bunch of new players. I'm not trying to judge new players. If you're new and you're trying to figure it out, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people who have been playing the game. You know better. But yeah, I could probably talk for days about this. So anyway, Final Season 2 is a lot of fun so far. I've been having a blast with it. It's been nice to have a reason to come back for it. And a lot of the stuff that I'm unlocking in the Battle Pass, I think is pretty neat. There's a digital hacker theme to the season. So you got a lot of like digital looking video game based stuff. I got a skin for my Uzi that looks like the old Nintendo duck hunt gun. I forgot what it's called. Light gun. Thank you. Also new map. You haven't played it, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a neon retro wave like digital map that everything looks the same, so it's kind of hard to tell where you're going. But I think I got it down now. I've played it a lot now, so yeah. And then final thing I want to say before we'll move on, I hate the medium in the finals. I think it's a fucking horrible class for me. People who want to heal and stuff, you guys are doing God's work. I'm not fucking saying you're playing a bad class. I'm saying I don't jive with that class. I like the heavy than the light. The ability to get rid of walls and ceilings with the medium has completely made the class so much more interesting for me, because the game has changed. That ability is being used so much now. Before, you'd have to get like an explosive and shoot a floor out to drop like the cash out station or like the vault, and now you can just walk up and silently just get rid of the floor. And so you'll be in a gunfight, you'll look over and the cash out is like trying to fall through a hole in the ground quietly, and like you have to call it out. You're like, oh, it's going through the fucking floor. Or like you'll be holding off like you used to, and you'd have to, expect a wall to explode or people run in. But now like people will just like open up the ceiling and drop in quietly and start shooting. So like it's changed shit up, and I think it's really an interesting thing that they've done with it. So when I have to play the medium for my dailies, I always hope I don't have to use the heal gun and I can use the whatever the fuck it's called. I forgot the name. I said it earlier and I forgot it already. But yeah, it's really neat. It's a really cool addition, and I'm liking it. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, just to finish, my thought was with the heavy shield was the I feel like people just aren't. Maybe it's changed already. I'm sure that the stuff changes really fast in those kind of games, but people would be shooting at me from roofs, and I just turn around and hold up my shield, and all of a sudden they just like stop shooting at me and go, okay, and then you'd see them scamper off. I'm like, okay, I guess that worked. So
Yeah.
though, you get the occasional sniper who's just like, stop shooting for a second, waits, pops shotgun. I'm like, I can take a hit. That's not a problem. And just put my shield back up. So like, anyways, yeah.
Yeah, the big problem with the shield in specifically like quick cache is it's so close quarters that most people know as soon as you pull that shield up to just run through it and kill you. But from a distance, it's really good. That's why I really like in the 5v5 mode, because there's so many fucking snipers that like you'll just see these like scopes flashing, and then people are shooting, and they're just like shooting your shield, and eventually they realize they're not going to be able to take it out fast enough as you're going around the corner, and they start running off. So similar to what you're saying, they're like, they'll fire a couple shots, and they're like, and then they'll start trying to find someone else to shoot.
Yeah, the only situations in like the cash out mode that it really worked out is if I was like with people and they could shoot through it, or if I was by myself and I hit the hammer, it kind of makes them come at me, and then I can put it down and start swinging. But
yeah, it's true.
But otherwise, in close quarters, it's not that great.
It is awesome in the 5v5 mode where like you'll have that up and then your whole team's just firing through it at people. Like it works so well if that happens.
Yeah.
You'll get some guy run right through it though in front of you though. And it's like, what are you doing? Stay behind. Like I'm trying to help out.
Yeah.
Plus you get a shitload of support XP for that. I swear every time that shield gets shot, you're just getting fucking support points.
Oh, interesting.
Because I was getting like 15,000 support. 12,000, which is crazy, just from standing there just taking rounds.
Yeah, I hadn't even paid attention. So
yeah,
though I was having a hard time getting on the platform half the time because I'd show up and be by myself. So yeah. So the last two games I've played, and I'm gonna keep it as short as I can with these. I picked up Unicorn Overlord.
I want to play that.
That is a just in case you aren't aware, it is a strategy game. Blatantly a strategy game. I thought it was going to be like a JRPG. It has RPG elements, but it is a strategy game. So I would suggest if you're into strategy games to pick it up. It's a lot of fun. It has a really, really clean and crisp art style. It is fully voice acted in multiple languages, and I haven't gotten very far yet, but from what I've seen from people talking about it online, it is a massive game. It kind of gives me this mix of like a old school Fire Emblem game, like the way like the map stuff works and like the paper rock scissors systems with like units and stuff like that, with like heavy amount of micromanagement, and then like formation building, which is kind of something they teach you really early on, is if your units are formed in a certain way, their attack priorities change, because you don't actually do the commands. They just fight based off how you've got them set up. You basically play the role of a commander in it. Tons of side quests. There's equipment you get for characters. There's job advancements for the characters. They can become more friendly with each other, which makes them work better together and stuff like that. It's a pretty big experience, and I've only put a couple hours into it so far. So I'll probably come back to this at some point once I've had time to play it some more. But early impressions, pretty impressed. And the story is already interesting, so it was just nice to say.
It sucks that it's not on PC, because I want to play it on my
Switch and
Steam
PlayStation.
Deck.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a plan to bring it to PC. I don't know if there are other games that are on PC either.
Yeah, it
I
sucks.
just don't think that Vanillaware does PC. So.
Yeah, I feel like I should buy it on my Switch, because it feels like a game I would like to play like on the go.
Well, and it's a big game, so it'd probably be nice to be able to just kind of put it in standby or whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess you can do it with consoles too. I don't do standby on consoles. I shut them completely down usually. But
A lot of times, if it's like an online game, even if it has to connect, it'll not like you'll start it back up from standby, and it'll error out, and it'll go back to the main menu.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Every time I stop playing my PlayStation, I go to the main menu, I hit start, and I say close session, and then I shut the PlayStation down. So
yeah.
But I'm a weirdo in that way, I guess. Yeah, anyways, it's a cool game. I would suggest if it's even remotely interesting to pick it up. Just kind of a tidbit as well. The guy poured like all his money into it, I guess. So
yeah, I want to buy it just for that reason because I really like the other games they've made. So
I guess the good news is the physical copies sold out in Japan. So
good.
I guess it's doing good. So
love that.
Yeah. And then the last game I'm going to bring up, and I have to be real careful about it because spoilers, the game's way too fresh and ginormous as well. But I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which so far has been good. I have some nitpicks already. I knew it was going to happen, but and they're not the typical ones you're seeing online. I don't care about that discussion. But without getting too into detail, it borrows heavily stuff from the Ubisoft formula. I'm not a fan. So I do it because you get rewards, like good rewards, but I'm not really having fun doing those tasks. So I'm sure some people are like, because they're just going to blindly love the game, which is fine. Mm-hmm. You do you. I don't agree. When I'm not doing those things, I'm loving the game. But I'm doing those things because I feel like I have to. So just because you get stuff or relationship bonuses for doing that. Well, I guess those are side quests, and I like those. So yeah, it's just the Ubisoft formula stuff. That's, and I know it's not an Ubisoft game. If hopefully you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I don't know specifically what you're talking about, but you're saying Ubisoft formula. I can guess it's like Far Cry.
Tower.
Yep.
Objectives. They're always the same. So, and that's just kind of their open world format in the game, which whatever, but it's not that exciting for me.
Yeah, but it's better than just the vacant open world of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely more going on in that regard.
Yeah, I'll take that over the other, but I do understand the formulaic open world gameplay. Better have creative ways to play, otherwise it's going to get boring. And the one thing that I still enjoy the Far Cry formula, even though I don't like Far Cry 6, is that with all the weapons and ways you can go about attacking these places, it can still stay fun, especially in co-op. But Final Fantasy is not going to offer a co-op experience and being able to put C4 on a car, drive it at a place and jump out and blow it up. So it's a little different.
But the maps are beautiful, and it is nice seeing these places that were just the world map that you looked at, and decided to fly places.
Yeah, it's insane to see those comparison pictures of the original game and the locations now.
It's phenomenal.
It's a huge difference.
I was recently in Junon, I'll just say, and it was awesome to see it in that way. So there's a bunch of things I'd like to say about like what I think is really awesome, but they're all like story elements. Mm-hmm. And in that regard, I think they're doing really good. I also think they're selling me really good in this game on the Advent Children tie-in stuff. There's a part that happens in the very beginning of the game, which you have seen. I'm not going to talk about it, but the very beginning of the game's got a scene.
The guy dying from 1.5 feet of water.
What?
There's a part where some people fall from a bridge into a river, and everyone stands up in the river, and one guy's just getting swept away, freaking out, and they're like, "We lost him," and I'm like, "That guy couldn't stand up in the river." I'm just nitpicking. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, there's just a chapter 0 basically, and I have gotten a continuation of that at this point.
Okay,
and I'm still not sure what the fuck's going on there, which I'm sure is intentional. It feels intentional. So I have nothing negative to say about that yet, but it is kind of the looming question mark for me. But the rest of it so far, they're doing a good job of mixing in those elements and making it make sense with the journey that you take, that you would take in the original game as well. And there are different games. I realize that. I'm just obviously comparing at this point. So I think they're handling it better in this than the wisps basically in the first game. I thought that was kind of weird. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it. Like it was.
Are they in this game?
Not yet. Not to I've
Good.
seen. Yeah. So
there were too much in the first game.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And the tie-in makes way more sense, like complete sense, especially if you've seen the Advent Children movie. Like it makes a lot of sense. So
I need to rewatch it. Somebody posted a clip on X of that movie, and I fucking love that movie. When people are like, "There's no good video game movies nowadays," it's kind of hard to have that conversation. But that was a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, the point I was gonna make is I was looking at the CGI on it. I remember being blown away by back in the day, and now I'm like, man, games look better than that now.
Yeah, I still think it holds up pretty good.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely made with like care. So like, it's not like a throwaway like Resident Evil CGI movie. That are always horrendous, but it was kind of crazy to look at it and go like, wow, games look like this finally. I remember when I was younger and seeing CGI and be like, games will look like this someday, and I'm like, oh, game's already passed that. Okay.
Yeah. Also, one thing I'm going to give credit to in this game is and I'm playing in English for this playthrough. I plan on, if I do a second playthrough, playing in Japanese. I like almost all the voice actors, which is really nice to say. I still think Sephiroth is awful. Sorry if you're the voice actor. Can't even say it's necessarily your fault. It's not the right voice for me. It's like it's not deep enough. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. But
hey, Cloud,
Red and Yuffie are great.
I haven't heard Yuffie, but Red 13's fucking voice is really good.
He's really good. Like I love listening to Red talk, and then Yuffie has just been a blast. Those were characters I like they were my side characters in like the original game. I didn't really care that much because obviously personality is a little harder to convey sometimes in just text. In this, they have like emotion coming out of them. And
that was the weird
Yuffie's
thing.
A blast.
That was the weird thing because like obviously when everybody played the first remake when it first came out, everybody's going like, what's Cloud gonna sound like? What's Sephiroth gonna sound like? And I remember when I was playing it, I heard Cloud, I'm like, that's fine. Yeah. And then I heard Sephiroth, I'm like, I don't know. But then I beat remake recently so I could play Rebirth because I was having some FOMO. I was like, I want to play that. Everyone's talking about it. They've been playing for like 3 days. I gotta fucking play this. And when Red 13 shows up, there's literally a moment where I'm like, what's he gonna sound like? And then he talked. I was like, not bad.
Yeah,
it's actually a good voice for him.
It is really good. And the person does a really good. I don't know the names. I probably should learn them, but yeah, does a great job for sure. And whoever directed them seemed like they cared too. So thank you, because dubbing is hit or miss. So
the only voices that bothered me in remake, I'm only in chapter 2 on Rebirth, so I can't talk too much about it. But I have a couple things to say about it. The only voices that really bothered me in remake was Sephiroth. I thought just doesn't fit. He's not even doing a bad job. It just doesn't fit for me. And then Aerith was hit or miss for me, which I know people are going to disagree with me on that.
I think she hits a lot better in this game.
I heard that. Yeah, she seems better. But in remake, there's a very Western-y feeling to the writing of her character met with her voice, which makes her sound kind of like, I don't know. She seems kind of like a brat almost, like not like in like a fun way. She's just like annoying.
Yeah, I think she's both written and sounds a little better in this game.
Okay.
There is one scene I had with her where I was kind of like, okay, but
yeah,
the rest of the time, like I think she's pretty good. And then Tifa's like spot on in my opinion. So
yeah, I like Tifa's voice. She is good. But then the third person I fucking can't stand every time he talks was Wedge.
Oh,
big guy, because the dude from Breaking Bad, and like his voice is so it's almost as bad as if like Seth Rogen was fucking playing him. It's just such a distracting voice that like, and they're trying to do like the westernized Japanese character thing.
Oh yeah.
Where like some girls will play like they're trying to be like cutesy Japanese like, but they're very Western sounding, so it sounds goofy. That's what he reminds me of. There's a lot of like very Japanese style humor with that character that he's trying to play off, and he sounds just way out of his element. But other than that, I think most of the voice acting was good. I think Barrett's fun. I think
Barrett's great.
Tifa's good. Cloud, I don't love or hate. I think he just works. It's fine.
I think they picked someone who definitely can do like the nonchalant, I don't care voice.
Yeah. He does that really well. But then like, yeah, the parts where he has a little more to say, I'm like, could be a little better, but it's not bad.
Well, it's funny too, because like in this game is like to talk more about the old game, but obviously we're following the same path for the most part, is where Cloud starts developing his memories again, basically. And so those emotions are actually, he starts becoming a human instead of like a shell of a person. And so like, and you're kind of starting to see that, especially with like a lot of the relationship stuff they've added. He will actually like sometimes like crack a little joke and like sometimes respond to something with like some like I care about you a little bit, like, and which has been kind of nice. He's still like kind of flat, but just a little hint. Yeah, it's been good.
It's funny.
And the mini games, for the most part, been a blast. Go ahead, sorry.
Just real quick on Cloud, real fast before we move on. It was funny because I was playing through Remake because that's still fresh for me, and while I was playing it, Sarah has never played the original Final Fantasy VII, or at least never beat it. She seems like she doesn't really know the characters too well, so I don't think she even played it. And she was watching me play Remake, and a lot of that part of the story, Cloud's pretty closed off and doesn't have a whole lot to say. And she kept going like, "Do we like Cloud? Like, do people like him?" I'm like, yeah. People like Cloud. I like Cloud, and she was just like, "But why?" And I'm like, I can't really tell you. Like, you have to go on the journey with him to like finally get his character to kind of bloom, I guess. And she said the same thing about Sephiroth. She's like, at one point he showed up and she's like, is Sephiroth really like as cool of a villain as people say he is? And I just like, the nostalgia in me, I just like looked at her and was like, yes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, yeah, he's a good villain, but again, you would have to play the game to understand why he's good as a villain. I know you look at him and you're either gonna look at that and go, oh, he's badass looking, or go like, the fuck's up with this dude? Why is he just in leather with a big sword? But it was just funny to get that perspective from somebody who is detached from the property, because she's just looking at it. She's just like, so what's up with these people? And I was like,
it's interesting.
It's like especially now, because there's so much more story because they're doing it in multiple games. I'm like, you just gotta play through it. The Cloud you're seeing right now is not like what he'll always be.
Yeah, you have to, and obviously, like, I don't want to say too much, but in the original game, you know, there's this moment of like Cloud becoming Cloud finally, instead of who he thinks he is.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, that's crazy. Because usually those kind of stories are kind of lame. Like, I'm not a big fan of the amnesia trope.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's handled pretty well in 7.
Luckily, his amnesia trope is from the 90s, so it's not a modern. I mean, this is a modern interpretation of it now, but Cloud as a character back from the 90s, you know, before. There's obviously amnesia tropes back then too, but not as many as now there are. So,
yeah,
there's still some interesting elements to him.
Yeah, and Sephiroth, you know, you get the backstory of basically his descent into madness. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, yeah, I'm a big fan of the original game. This game, obviously, it's still kind of in a honeymoon period for me, and I'm in chapter 7 now. But the direction's been good. The mini games have been fun. I did have to turn off the adaptive triggers because they were making my life hell with the sit-up mini game, which, if you don't like physics, don't do it with Tifa's bikini on. But and I still haven't beaten the last part. It is so hard, but the triggers were screwing me up because, like, there's a part of it where there's either smash it a bunch of times, or there's half hold and then commit. And the half hold commit, I was just clicking through because the tension or whatever was throwing me off, and then I'd get that click and then it'd ruin it. Oh God, can I shut this off? And you can. So I shut the adaptive off. There's a lot of things about the PS5 that I think are neat, but they don't function in games well, in my opinion. Yeah, anyways, I'm going to ramble at this point. The game is good so far. I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends, because my big hang up with the last game was I enjoyed it, but the new stuff was throwing me off. I think it's making a lot more sense now, which is good. So.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's everything.
Okay, so real quick, games I've been playing. I've talked about many of these already with you, but I've played Sifu. I'm going to play it some more. Played Hello Neighbor 2. I will play that more. EA Sports F1 23. I have also played. I need to play it some more. I've probably put over 20 hours into Enshrouded already. So I will be playing that some more. And we will talk about that in a month. So yeah, I have a lot to talk about when it comes to that game. And I'm hoping we can play again. Final Season 2. Played that. Talked about that a lot. Vindictus, played that. So yeah, I've been playing Dance Dance Revolution. Like a couple weeks ago, we went to the arcade and the barcade, and they'd got a new DDR machine. Well, it's used, I'm sure, because the right button wasn't working correctly. But for the barcade, it was new. And I haven't played DDR in fucking years. Me and you used to play a shitload when we were younger. Yeah. Like a lot. And it was weird because I had like a fucking renaissance of sorts when I was playing it, because like so much of like the steps still were in my brain. It was like muscle memory. But like I'm like near 40. I was drinking. My coordination was off. I like almost fell over one time while I was dancing, because I was just like so out of the loop on playing it. My stamina was shit. And I was like, that was a lot of fun. I forgot how much I love DDR. So I looked up what the current state of like Dance Dance Revolution is, basically. And there's some companies out there that make like high quality dance pads. So I ended up buying one from L-Tech out of Poland.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Just letting you guys know, because I've had some people ask me like, where'd you get that? You can't just like pick them up everywhere. I had to order this thing from Poland. Ran me about like $400 with shipping. So
big, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's fucking dense. Like it's a solid chunk. Very well made. But I'm very happy with it. But since I've gotten it, and the shipping was wild, because like it left Poland, went to Germany, I had to send it back to Poland, then they sent it to Seattle, and then it's this whole fucking thing.
DHL was very confused.
Yeah, and then they're like, we can't send this to you because they fucked up your address when you gave it to them. And I looked at them like, yeah, they did. They repeated a lot of things over and over again, but you guys can't figure that out. And then they're like, well, we're gonna have to send it out another day. And then they sent it the day it was supposed to be here, after they told me that it wasn't going to be there that day, which I'm not complaining, but I got it. It doesn't matter. But it was kind of a clusterfuck. But anyway, got it. It's really good. High quality. I'm fucking loving it. But with that, I've been playing a lot of Steps. What's it called?
The program?
Yeah.
Stepmania,
which anybody who is familiar will know what that is. Been catching up on all the DDRs I didn't play. There's ones that came out like after 2016 that I've never touched. There's like Dance Dance, Revolution A20, A fucking something. There's all sorts of ones. And it's weird because you can kind of see around 2016 into 2019, you can tell DDR kind of was dying in the West, because every song is like Japanese, every single one. And they're all very samey. There's not like a good variety of songs. And then later it starts picking up again. So I'm wondering what that's about. But But yeah, it's been kind of nice playing a game, also getting cardio in. We've been going to the gym a lot. We talk about it almost every Tastecast. I primarily just do weight training. So trying to build muscle up, which has been going good. But I'm always worried about like, I'm not getting the cardio I want to get. And so it's been really nice having cardio at home that's, been gamified basically, because I'm not even thinking about it when I'm playing it. I played one day for 5.5 hours, and I had to stop because my armpits were chafing, which I've never experienced in my life.
Getting older, dude.
Yeah. Well, I was sweaty and moving my arms
Sure.
a lot. So, but as for older, I mean, I was playing for 5.5 hours. I was going. I had the energy. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun to play that. I figured I would just mention that because we don't talk about hardware very often. So, speaking of hardware, what do you think about the PS5 Pro leak?
It's the same old, man.
Yeah.
Like they always do it.
Yep. Yeah, it's like super controversial this time around. I'm just like, it's just a more powerful console. Don't buy it if you don't want it.
I'll tell you what, if there's something new out there, and I got a blue check mark, all I gotta do is talk some shit about it, get some revenue.
That's all X's. That's all X's now. Sucks. I wish he wasn't paying people because it's fucking. I was like, went to grab my glasses. They're not even there.
This is totally off topic, but I was listening to, I think it was Ludwig actually, talk about how social media sucks now because everything's just engagement bait.
Oh yeah, no, he's late to talking about that, but correct.
He just had a whole like tangent about it. He's like, and then I come to YouTube and I expect all this crap, and he was basically, the whole point of the story was like, there was one commenter who was like actually a decent person. He's like, so for you, thank you for having a conversation on social media.
Yeah, and even though the government's trying to fucking ban it right now forcefully, but like TikTok is like the most fun social media app that exists right now, which is weird. Because X is like, everything is engagement bait
and porn bots.
Yeah, and so everybody is like posting the most low IQ things ever. I literally am like, I can't believe anybody pays attention to this person, because there's like, what do you guys think about the color red? And then you go into the comments, we're like, I think the color red, and it's just like, that's every single post on X, to different degrees. What's the best controller ever? I'm gonna say something crazy. The Xbox controller's the best. What do you think? And I'm just like, oh my god,
congrats on having an opinion.
It's so mind melting. But yeah, social media sucks. X is fucking terrible now because of the money incentive. How'd we get to X? What was I talking about before?
I was making fun of, like, because we were talking about PlayStation Pro.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I was making fun of people having problems with things because they're incentivized to have problems.
So, real quick, because I don't remember all the details, but basically the PS4 or PS5 Pro is going from, according to leaks, could be not true, 10.2 teraflops, which it is now, to 33.5, which is a huge increase. People are saying that it's basically going to rival like a 4080 or something like that.
Okay.
Or 4090, I don't remember. But people are making
current graphics cards.
Yeah, so. Exactly. That's what I said. I'm like, okay, so they're finally catching up to graphics cards, because when these consoles came out, the graphics cards went woo, and
the timing was real bad.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They're like, here's these 2000 series cards, and then the 30,000 or 30,000 came out.
My fucking 2080 Super was obsolete like overnight. I was just like, okay. That was crazy. So anyway, 33.5 teraflops. I think the CPU is 10% increase based off. It's the same CPU, but they did something to it to get more power out of it. They are doing their own DLSS. I forgot what it's called. It's like PSSR or something like that. But it's going to be a scalar resolution smart thing, just like DLSS. There's also some kind of AI technology that's going to help with ray tracing to get more out of it. So it sounds really impressive. There's no prices yet, but I would speculate it'd probably be $500, $550. But some people are saying $650. But good luck selling that in this economy.
True.
And then it's supposed to come out later this year, at the end of the year, which around Christmas would make sense.
So it'll be like a quote unquote E3 time announcement.
Yeah, and everybody keeps talking about, the big talking point is people think Sony's releasing it for, and I want to remind people, it doesn't have to be for anything. Pros come out. But people are saying that they're releasing it to, because Xbox originally said they weren't interested in doing a refresh this generation. They're just going to wait till the next Xbox.
I recall, yeah.
But with this, they're hoping they're going to be able to pull more people over to PlayStation when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. Because Grand Theft Auto 6 will only come out on consoles, then PC later. And so if you want it now, what are you going to want to play it on? The lesser console, which will be the Xbox Series X, or the PlayStation 5 Pro, which will make the game look way better. And I guarantee Xbox's hand is going to get forced to do something.
Kind of a... Never mind. I was just going to say, it's kind of I mean, that's business anyways, right? To do what you can to get the business. But at the same time, like, don't they already have, like, an insane amount of consoles out in the wild versus Xboxes anyways?
Yes,
so, like,
it's like three times.
You know, they're, like, battling themselves almost.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah, kind of.
It's weird. That situation with the Grand Theft Auto.
This whole generation's fucking weird.
Well,
for Xbox and PlayStation.
We had a stupid point in time where chip shortages kind of really it's really honestly just made a lot of technology feel like it hasn't been here as long as it has been. So
well, everybody, when people talk about how we're like past the midpoint of the generation, people are like, I thought it just started. It started in a really weird place between the chip shortages and the pandemic, all that shit. And so it does feel, I mean, I still feel confused that like it's 2024. Like, where'd the years go, man? It's like kind of weird. Like right after 2020, everything kind of got blurry. So
fortunately, I don't have a lot of that, but the console stuff definitely feels short. And I think it's mostly just because, like, you know, watching everyone struggle to get them, and then of course, like, because they had to make sure they could still sell games, they were like really incentivized to make PS4, PS5 games. Like the PS5 only stuff came like kind of late.
Yeah.
So
anyway, with all that stuff, it has made people kind of view it in a weird way, and they feel like the console cycle has like just started basically. Also, a lot of people are saying that a lot of exclusives haven't really come out either. Where I do feel like there's been plenty, but there hasn't been like a Last of Us or an Uncharted. But yeah, it is interesting that there's so much speculation that the PS5 Pro is banking on GTA 6, but GTA 6 will be a huge selling game. Sure. So it does kind of make sense for your business to try and get GTA 6 sold on your console as opposed to someone else's. So
and for Sony this year, they kind of have to strategize around third party anyways. So
yeah,
because they're not releasing it first party.
Yeah, this is a weird year for PlayStation, and it's a good year for Xbox if they want to utilize it. We'll see if they do.
Yeah, if they got the strategy, it's a good time.
So far, like Helldivers 2 is the game that everybody's still talking about. Pal World was, but no one's really talking about it anymore, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, PlayStation's still getting a lot of talk with Stellar Blade coming out and the booty physics, all that shit. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
As for the PS5 Pro, when it comes to my interest, I would want to pick it up. I haven't heard. I don't know the details though, so I can't definitively say that. These are all leaks. These are all rumors. But if it is 3 times as powerful as the PS5, for when I do play games on my PS5, I would prefer to be able to play them at higher resolution and graphics at 60 frames per second, because I am one of those people that prefer 60 frames over 30. Doesn't mean 30's not playable. That conversation's happening right now where people are like, 30's fine. Yeah, 30 is fine. 60's better, objectively. When people are like, you can't see the difference. Yes, you can. You can. Even if you don't think you can see it, I know you can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's stupid. Like, if you're cool with 30 frames, that's fine. But that's like, you're cool with being in a wagon dragged by horses as opposed to being in a car. Like, yeah, they're both fine.
You're fine with 4 or 720p. That's fine.
Yeah, like whatever. Like, but it's still inferior. Yeah. And so, it's whatever. But I would prefer more options, basically, for performance and quality.
This argument already happened, and to bring up the 720 thing, because for a long time people were saying there's no point in getting 1080p because it was like not different from 720. And I think the same thing happens all the time, but like when you're going up, it's harder to notice difference than when you go backwards.
Yep.
And like watching something in 720p after watching 1080 for a while, like it's crazy noticeable.
Just
like,
play any game and start it on quality mode, then switch to performance, and instantly you're gonna be like, I want to play like this. But go back to quality mode.
It'll feel like
it's lagging.
Yeah.
But after a while, here's the trick: if you play it for long enough, you stop noticing that lag.
Yeah.
Because your eyes become used to that frame rate. Just like movies are filmed at 24 frames per second, which gives it that smooth filmic look. These frame rates work. It's just to get more, like in a shooter, 60 frames is objectively better than 30 because you're getting more information and double the information in every movement.
I would also say you're getting a very clear edge at that point too.
Yeah, it's just better for fast-paced things happening. 30 frames isn't. Like, I would hate to play a shooter at 30 frames per second because it's not good enough. But yeah, if you're playing like a single player game, whatever, like if you're playing like a turn-based game, who gives a shit? So, although I did, when I played Rebirth, play it in quality mode with the shitty frame rate, just because the game looked so bad in performance mode, in my opinion. Although there has been a patch since I last played that was supposed to make that look better. So even they noticed, apparently. But it's an RPG, so I'm not too worried about the frames per second. But anyway, all that said, I would definitely be interested in a PS5 Pro as long as it's a big enough upgrade. But I don't play my PS5 as much as I feel like I should be because I'm just on my PC all the time. So, and with games coming to PC from everywhere now, it's more and more incentivizing me to just not play on consoles at all, which sucks. But it's good for me. But it sucks for the part of me that likes the console experience, the controller experience, which you can now have on PC and all that shit. But yeah, if they want to release everything on PC, I'll play it on PC. It's fine.
Well, speaking of like hardware stuff, you saw that they stopped producing PSVR 2s because they have too many, that aren't sold
They've
yet.
made too many.
Yeah. And I think that is a huge reason because they recently came out and said they're working on making it work on PC.
Yep.
I was like, I'm totally down for that.
Yeah.
But why? And now I heard that and I was like, that's why. You can sell more if it also works on PC because
they should totally do it. That'd be so huge because for the price point and the tech that's in it, the eye tracking, all that shit, it's like the best deal. Like,
well, and if they don't, I have it wishlisted on Steam, but there's this person or company, whatever they are, that makes a program that makes VR just work on Steam. And so they have one for PSVR 1. They have one for all the different like Oculus systems and stuff like that. Like there's just one for if there's a headset that's in that list somewhere so that it'll make it work in Steam. So,
I've seen videos of people doing it in games that aren't supposed to be VR, but they always say that there's like certain kinks that need to get worked out. So it's not something I would like jump into trying right now.
Yeah. Well, this is just to make headsets that don't work on PC work on PCs.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I thought you were talking about getting games.
No.
Okay.
To
headsets.
Hardware
Gotcha.
to work with Steam.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Can't remember the name right now, but yeah. So they already have it in wish listable for the PSVR 2 version. So someone's gonna do it if Sony doesn't. Yeah.
I was saying that shit fucking before the thing came out. Someone's gonna figure that out.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it because I like my headset, but the problem is the game library, they're just not aggressive enough in getting stuff. It has gotten a lot better recently. I've looked recently and there's a ton in there now, but still not like for example, I would like to play Beat Saber, right? But I know if I get it on PlayStation, I have to buy songs. Whereas if I get it on PC, I can import songs. So I don't know. Tricky. So
yeah.
anyways, we were talking about hardware, so I figured to bring it up.
Yeah, no problem. I want to get this rolling
Yeah.
though. So PS5 Pro, let us know in the comments what you think about that situation. And yeah, so we were talking about Rebirth and Remake a little bit, but just real quick from my perspective, to play Rebirth, I had to beat Remake. Remake, I played a little bit when it first came out, and then I stopped playing it for the reason I stopped playing everything. And because I really want to play Rebirth, I was getting really hyped on it already. But then when it came out for like a couple days, everybody's talking about how awesome it is. I was like, I gotta fucking play this shit. So I just got through Remake, went right through it. I did the exact same thing with Like a Dragon to play Infinite Wealth. So
You're not playing either.
but I beat those two games.
You did.
I got 2 JRPGs under my belt. I'm gonna have a third one with Grand Blue soon. Yeah, by the end of the year I'll have like fucking a bunch of JRPGs beaten. But yeah, I beat Remake, and just without any spoilers, even though the game's been out for a little bit and everybody knows the story of Final Fantasy VII, I liked it. I really liked it until the end got really weird. If you played it, you know the things that change quite a bit from the original story change drastically without any like resolution that makes them make sense. And so something similar to what you said early on about you're going to need the next game to see if it works or not. I completely agree. I didn't really feel that for most of the game. I was like, most of this is just better. Like a lot of it's like more expanded, more things going on. It really adds to it. Some of the things I think they did soften a bit the impact of how dark and fucked up it was from the first game, that I won't go into too much, but I feel like they pulled back a little bit on their punches in the remake. They made Avalanche a little less in the gray zone on their ambitions and how they do it, and more that they're just the good guys, which they're supposed to be, but in the original game it was a little more gray in how they went about doing their eco-terrorism basically. But not a big deal. But yeah, by the time I got to the very end of the game, things get really fucking crazy. And as much as I enjoyed the spectacle of it, I loved the chase on the highway from the original game and this one. You know what I'm talking about?
Roche?
Huh?
Like that's with Roche, right?
No, when you're escaping.
I guess that happens multiple times.
When you're escaping Shinra and you're in the fucking vehicle and you're hitting all the people with the sword from the original game and this one, I loved that part. It was awesome. But then after that, shit gets crazy, and I was just like, I don't understand what's happening. And then when people start talking about fate, I'm just like, are we getting meta here? So I'll keep it there. And so anyway, I beat it. I liked it. A little confused about things, but playing Rebirth, I've only played the first 2 chapters. So I'm not anywhere in the game, especially from how much I hear. There's so much things to do in this game. I really know like I haven't done shit. But from what I've done so far, the intro was actually really cool. I like the way they did it. It was interesting having those party members with you. I'll keep it there. It's interesting to be able to play one of those party members. Wasn't expecting that. And then, the yellow paint I saw in the game, which I'm not going to talk about much here, but that turned into a whole thing over on TikTok, talking about my thoughts on that. And then chapter 2, I've only ran around a little bit, doing a couple things, but the kind of last thing I want to talk about, because I haven't played it a whole lot, is Queen's Blood. Is that the card game? I actually like it, which is weird.
Play a lot of it.
Which is weird because I don't like card games in anything really. I'm not a card game guy, and I think Queen's Blood is neat because it feels like a card game, but also feels kind of like chess. Even though you're kind of talking about like the mathematics of it or whatever.
I mean, the cards get pretty bonkers later.
Yeah.
So.
And regardless of that, I just kind of like the flow of it. I think it's really interesting. It's visually engaging, which I prefer, because a lot of games that are card games are just like put down cards and read the card and see what happens. But there's like a cool visual style to it that I like. The whole system of positioning your cards in the right place and kind of taking advantage of certain things. I do assume it's going to get even more complicated because in the couple of games I've played already, I can already see the potential, especially when I start adding new cards to my deck. I was like, oh, this could get really crazy. And I would like to see them maybe release this as a standalone thing where you can play against other people. That'd be kind of interesting. Because I do think it's a really good idea for a card game.
If anything, I'd see it in 14. So
yeah, that'd be cool. I didn't think about that. I was thinking like a standalone thing, but I'm like, that wouldn't have legs though.
They already have Triple Triad, they have Mahjong, they have Choco Racing.
But in a game where people are already playing a Final Fantasy, having a Final Fantasy thing added to it would be the best option.
Yeah.
Because if you just bought it on Steam, you'd play for like 5 seconds and leave. So yeah, I hope they do that because I think it's a really cool game that I would like to see not just confined to this game, but somewhere where you could play it with other people. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, Rebirth, from what I've seen so far, has been really cool, and I need to play it some more when I have time. But I'm running into the Baldur's Gate 3 scenario for me, where if I don't have enough time to play it, I don't, because I don't want to put like 30 minutes into it, 40 minutes into it. I want to be able to sit there for at least 2 to 3 hours and get something to chew on from it as I play it, as opposed to playing a little bit and then going, wait, what the fuck was I doing? Okay, then trying to remember that, which is kind of the curse of JRPGs in general. You take too much time away from it and you forget what the hell you're doing. So yeah. But yeah, it's cool, and I can't wait to keep playing it because I just mostly hear great things about it. I've heard a couple things, but I won't even put out there what I've heard people say, because I'm already speculating on what they're talking about and I don't even know. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Right on.
That was that's what we've been playing, but we've had a lot to talk about. So
yeah, and I played more than I usually do. So
yeah. And I've just played a lot of games I got a lot to say on. So let's know in the comments, what games have you guys been playing? What games are you looking forward to playing soon? I know Dragon's Dogma 2 is definitely one, but what do you guys think about Rise of the Ronin coming out on the exact same day? We'll have more to say on that here in a bit. And what games would you recommend us play? Also, the Steam sale is happening. Spring sale is happening. Have you picked up anything?
No.
I picked up... I played it. I could have talked about it, but it's a waste of time, I guess. I picked up Rogue Tower, which is a procedurally generated tower defense that is, as I was telling you, crack, because I don't even know if I'm having fun, but I keep playing it because I love tower defenses, and because it's so random, it's easy to keep playing. But I've been trying to stay away from buying things willy-nilly.
Same.
Because Rise of the Ronin and Dragon's Dogma 2 come out soon. And I'm like, I don't need more fucking games. So... but if you guys have picked up something, let us know. And if there's a game you want us to look into that's on sale, let us know. I will definitely check it out and see if it's something I would want to pick up. All right, with that said, let's jump into the videos we got to watch this episode. And it is a Dragon's Dogma 2 and Rise of the Ronin episode. That's all we're going to be watching today, because both games are coming out really soon, on the 22nd, I believe. Maybe the 21st if it's like early.
Couple days.
Yeah, very soon. So, and I'm having quite the conundrum, because Dragon's Dogma 2 is a day one buy for me, 100%. I can't wait to play this game. Been waiting years to play it. But Rise of the Ronin also looks really cool to me, except for the last time we watched it, I got a little worried because combat looked a lot like Neo, and the stealth combat looked like, why do you even have that? Because you still have to hit them a lot after you hit them from sneaky position. And yeah, so I'm kind of mixed on it, but I kind of want to pick it up. But do I need to pick it up day one? That's kind of where my mind's at. So I have a video, the Rise of the Ronin, the final preview. This is via IGN. It's a 6.5 minute video. Figure we can watch it, see what they have to say about it. Maybe it can kind of sway me in the direction of I got to pick this up, or I can wait, because I'm going to be playing Dragon's Dogma 2 anyway. But before we watch it, general thoughts on Rise of the Ronin.
I don't really have any, to be honest. I haven't seen anything on the game that made me interested. So
you're not interested in it?
No.
Okay.
Now, obviously, that isn't a hard no. If I see something that inspires me to want to pick it up, that's fine. But I just don't. I don't know. From everything I looked at it, it didn't really have any like main feature that like was calling to me that I had to have it for. And I have so many other things to play that I feel like I'd just be wasting the money. So
that's fair. Does it have co-op?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I know Neo does.
And that wasn't enough to get me to beat the game on that either. So
yeah, that'd be cool if Rise of the Ronin has co-op. Let us know in the comments if you know. I'm gonna look it up anyway. But yeah, that's fair. I feel like I really want to play it, but after the last movie we watched, I'm like, I don't have that like hype factor. So hopefully this will do something to give us a little more thoughts on.
Well, you never know what people are going to say after it comes out too.
Sure.
So
I've already heard from a lot of people who have played like demo builds of it saying it's a lot of fun. But yeah, people are saying it's like a mix of like Neo, or they'll say Dark Souls, Assassin's Creed, and some other open world game, but I don't remember. So it's kind of cool to hear like some variety, not just like, oh, it's open world Neo.
yeah.
But with that, we should probably watch this.
Okay.
Formulate our own opinions. This is Rise of the Ronin, the final preview in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Rise of the Ronin has been a blast so far. While not a graphical stunner like Ghost of Tsushima, I have been very impressed with the depth and sheer number of things to do. The story is compelling and gives you motivation to keep going to see what's next. There's plenty of gear you can acquire to make a stronger build. Characters you meet during your journey will join your crew and fight alongside you. There's a transmogrification system that lets you customize your appearance while also having the best gear possible equipped, and you can pet cats. But more importantly than all that, the core gameplay felt like a mix of the storytelling and exploration in Assassin's Creed 2 with a smidgen of Ninja Gaiden combat and a dash of Dark Souls difficulty. In other words, this recipe seems to be a perfect mix of gameplay ingredients that I've been loving. The main storyline of Rise of Ronin is all about a duo referred to as Blade Twins. In this case, it's believed that the duo are brother and sister who nearly suffered a terrible fate at a young age as their village burned to the ground. Instead, they were saved and recruited into the Veiled Edge as Blade Twins. Highly skilled with the sword, Blade Twins train and grow together as they master their skills. One of your first tests of skill has you infiltrating the ship of historical figure Matthew C. Perry to steal a secret message and assassinate Perry after doing so. This section does a good job of showing off a few stealth elements of Ronin, and also showcases combat with the footage PlayStation sent us to use for this preview. Combat will require precise timing for counters, and you'll need to pay close attention to your ki gauge, which is basically a stamina meter.
Okay.
Getting hit too much while blocking will deplete your ki, but parrying your opponent or damaging them will result in a loss of their ki. Deplete all their ki, and they'll be left open for a devastating attack.
At first, like, why is he fighting a bloody nutcracker?
The back and forth is a lot of fun in practice, but it's not easy to hit that perfect timing. Each encounter also allows you the opportunity to use stealth to infiltrate an area, and you can take out a few enemies without being seen. But in almost every situation, there will be higher powered foes that will require you to know the combat basics to defeat them and move forward.
I like
so
how
while I built a
elaborate the moves
character
are,
with a speech
like the
trait that
tells and
opened up
stuff.
some unique dialogue options for me, there's no escaping those necessary combat beats that Ronin
animations
does
of the
quite well.
swings and stuff like that are also feels like fights take a while though.
Yeah, that's my big thing. I'm like, I don't want to fight a guy forever. Not every character. Like, I get a boss fight.
After this introductory section, Ronin really opens up. Our preview window promised 2 hours of playable content, but it turned out it was much more than that. We were given access to a large open world that included countryside towns and open fields, as well as city spaces with different types of missions located at each. In these sections, you can choose to take on story quests, side quests, customize your longhouse, or play minigames alongside other activities I probably missed. The provided footage we're allowed to use in this preview does a good job of showcasing a smattering of options available to players, but even this feels like it's just a glimpse into what's available, as I haven't even played some of what you're seeing yet. One notable mission in the footage was a story beat where I fought alongside the eccentric Ronin to gain his allegiance in one of the battle missions. In our preview, battle missions allow us to gain ally allegiance as part of core story missions. These are fun excursions that have bonus objectives like defeat 3 formidable foes, and will have an impact on the overall story you wind up experiencing. The main objective in this case was to defeat Gonzo and decide his fate before looting some forged documents that would complete the quest. I could have murdered him right there, but I instead chose to spare Gonzo. Fast forward to the open world section,
I will never
and I
spare
meet the
Gonzo.
character in the middle of nowhere asking me to deal with a person who swindled him out of money. Who did it turn out to be? None other than Gonzo, who was getting into trouble again even after I
God, that
spared him
horse's
earlier.
animations.
This time I can finish him for real or have him join my crew. Had I chosen to kill him off, I would have been rewarded with some loot, but if I didn't, I got an extra helper to fight beside me in the open world. I'll take that over a few trinkets any day. And I discovered these different outcomes because I reloaded my save just to see what would happen had I chosen the other option. And while I had really been having fun with Rise of the Ronin up until this point, this was the moment that really solidified how much I was liking this game. Great combat, an intriguing story, decisions that matter, tons of stuff to do, and you can pet cats. I'm sold. My decision to spare Gonzo
Pretty
would pay
detailed
off too
cat
because
petting.
in my upcoming story mission
True.
fight with Kira, I now had 3 allies going into battle instead of just
The
2.
having choices that have
Myself, the
consequences
eccentric
is
Ronin,
actually
and Gonzo
something I wasn't
were
expecting.
An unstoppable
Yeah.
trio ready to take Kira down. And that's just in the opening missions. I am tremendously excited to see who else I can recruit into my group. These were the core missions that we got to experience in
when
our
you
preview,
recruit
but
them,
there's
though?
a lot
You
more to
keep saying
do.
that, but like,
While running in the open world, you might come upon towns that
Like
are
with you?
overrun with
No.
troublemakers that you'll need to dispatch to restore
question.
order. There are mini games like the Gatling gun firearm range that was teased in the footage Sony sent over, or the glider mini games that challenge you to break all the targets floating in the sky. And while they didn't show much of it in the video that we're allowed to use, there's an entire gear system at play that encourages you to learn different weapons and use tools like the sub-weapon
Sounds like
class
Neo.
that
Yeah, I
includes
was saying
things
Neo.
like throwing stars, rifles,
Ton
bows,
of
and
weapons.
more for combat to get a leg up in battle. That's in addition to your main weapons, by the way, which have a smattering of samurai classics. Rise of the Ronin is poised to give players a lot to dive into, and while it doesn't quite live up to PlayStation's first-party open-world exclusives in the graphics department, the developers at Team Ninja have focused on what's important. An engaging story
keep
that
saying
has
the
a great
graphics,
hook to
they're
keep you
fine.
exploring, a fun gameplay system that will keep you striving to perfect your skills, and all
Although
of that
it
is
should not
found
be
alongside
a,
a smattering of fun activities to challenge yourself with.
Uh,
I can't wait to see how it all comes together when
Hypocrite.
Ronin launches later this
with 30
month.
frames per second,
For
6
more on
frames
the latest
per,
upcoming games, don't
per
miss our
second
previews of
fucking
South Park Snow Day
is
and my
fine and
real
there's better,
final preview of
but
Dragon's Dogma 2. For the rest of your gaming
for a
news,
game that doesn't even
previews,
look
features,
bad,
reviews,
it's weird how
and
much
game
people are
help,
talking about
stay
the
here
graphics.
on IGN.
I think people are just like hoping it's gonna be like Ghost of Tsushima visually because it's fucking Japanese, but
Continuing on Assassin's Creed 2
all right.
with a smidge
Thoughts?
It's funny how much, like, and obviously it doesn't play the same, but how much DNA you can still see
Yep.
from the team, which is not a bad thing. I think from Neo, I should have said, sorry. I think Neo 2 is a fantastic game, but it's funny seeing how much of that like still kind of exists, though, is way smoother now, which is nice because Neo 2 is a little bit on the rough side, a lot of pauses, stuff like that. This definitely leans a little closer to like a more like Ninja Gaiden style flow, though not as fast. Fortunately for me, in that regard, even though I still am not convinced I'm gonna pick it up. I do think it sounds like a cool game, though. I like that they brought up the decision making thing, the recruiting thing. I want to know more about because what does that mean, right? Because in that regard, that could be a really interesting feature for me. Like if there's this whole reason to like have a bunch of recruits that feels meaningful. If it's just like you go back to your base and there's just a bunch of dudes hanging out.
Maybe they have like
whatever.
items they'll sell you or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's not super exciting for me. But if there's like an actual gameplay, like mechanic, that could be fun. I kind of like the idea also that it's just these twins, which is a real easy way to be like, do you want to play the boy or the girl? Unless you just play the boy, which in which case I'm confused at that point. A lot of weapons, which is to be expected, to be honest, especially after playing Neo 2 and just seeing the overwhelming amount of weapons you pick up in that game. Inventory management is a pain. And then, a lot more mobility in this game, which will probably be very up your alley.
Yep.
I kind of flinched every time I had to watch a gliding part because that's just not appealing to me. I think
it looks cool.
A lot of people are going to like that.
Yeah.
But I instantly went, nah, I don't want to do that. So, but overall, I do think it looks cool. I don't think it's a day one buy for me, but if enough good things are said about it, if I get some free time, I would probably pick it. So.
Yeah, this solidified for me that I am gonna pick this up. I don't know if it's gonna be day one, but I definitely do want to play this, unless it comes out and everybody's just trashing it. But I don't think it's gonna happen. It's nice to see that there is things to do, side missions and little mini games, stuff like that, to add things to do in an open world. My big thing I was kind of worried about with this game is actually good and bad. Is it going to be open world Neo? Part of me is like, that'd be cool. I love Neo. Put it in the open world, that'd be cool. But also at the same time, you're making a whole new game. Like, I hope it would feel different from Neo, because I don't want a situation where it's like, basically what From Software does with, like, Sekiro. It basically is in a lot of ways similar to Dark Souls games. They could do the same thing, and as much as I do like those games, I love all From Software games that I've played. I do like to see people branch out a bit. That's why Armored Core was kind of nice to see, even though there is some Dark Souls DNA there still, but it does branch away more than I'm used to, and I would hope that Team Ninja can do something with this that makes it feel not just like another Neo, because some of this does kind of remind me of Neo, but some of it kind of doesn't. So I'm hoping the open world nature of the game can kind of solidify that it's not just Neo. And the side quests, the reason I even brought up in the first place, and the little mini game stuff like that, is a nice touch. It's something I wasn't expecting. Also, the choices is something I didn't expect at all. The cats, I do kind of expect, honestly. Nowadays, people get upset if you can't pet a dog or a cat in a game, and I agree with them. So I like when you can do that. It's a small detail, but it's always fun. But yeah, the choices thing's really interesting. Just because I want to see what the outcomes of those are, and if they're actually meaningful or if they're just kind of shallow. Yeah, the big thing for me, though, is the combat looks cool when it comes to fighting bosses, but when they're fighting like normal dudes, it does seem like they take a lot, except for that guy, they take a lot of hits.
That dude went down quick.
But this could be like early footage too, where like the gear sucks, and that's why they're hitting him a lot. So it's hard to tell. Like, I haven't played the game, so I don't know. But from what they keep showing, it does seem like it takes a long time to kill just like normal enemies, and in a game where you're going to be going any direction you want in open world.
So the bow is killing him.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, this video is doing a lot of like work on against what I'm saying, but in previous gameplay videos you've watched, it seems like it takes forever to kill people. And in an open world where you're trying to run around and explore and do things, that could possibly make pacing feel kind of off, but I don't know. I haven't played it. Overall, though, this does make me want to play the game. I think it looks cool. Obviously, we both do love samurai stuff, Japanese stuff, so the visual aesthetic is definitely there for me. I like open world games, even though I don't need another one in my life right now. And the gameplay looks pretty fun, and I think the graphics are fine. So it's not really a thing for me. They could be better for sure, but they could be worse. So I have played a Chinese-made game made on Unity engine that this game definitely looks miles ahead of. So forgot the name of it, and I almost feel like I shouldn't even try to remember it.
Yeah.
Might say the wrong thing in Chinese. Yeah, overall, though, really excited. I want to play it. We'll see if I buy it day one, because Dragon's Dogma 2 is definitely the priority. Also, I'd like to know more about, like you were saying, the people that you recruit, and then also gear. They didn't show a whole lot on that, so I want to know how deep the skills and gear go, because again, I hope it's not just a retreading of Neo. I hope it has its own unique progression system. So yeah, anything else?
Nope.
All right, let us know in the comments what do you guys think about Rise of the Ronin. Are you guys picking it up? Are you not picking it up? Are you going to pick it up later, wait for a sale, something like that? What do you think about this final preview? Has it done anything for you, or were you already sold? And what's the feature you're most excited about? Let us know everything you think about in the comments below. Also, if you know about co-op or any kind of multiplayer, let me know, because I saw some people talking about that on X, and I was like, are they just hoping? Are they speculating? Or is there actually information on that? Because if this had multiplayer, that would be sick. All right, next video, we got two of them. The first one is Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay overview. This is an overview of Dragon's Dogma 2, another game that's coming out on the exact same day as Rise of the Ronin. We're going to watch that, but we also have a second video, which is a more current video. Welcome to Dragon's Dogma 2, presented by Ian McShane. This might have some overlapping overview stuff, but I figured it would be nice to watch both of them and get a full view of what to expect from Dragon's Dogma 2, a game that I know we're both excited to play, and a lot of people are really excited to play. So before we watch these videos, thoughts on Dragon's Dogma 2?
I mean, I'm already gonna pick it up,
Yeah.
but I'm in this weird spot with this game now, and it's coming out soon, fortunately. But there's been so much
I've actually skipped a lot of it.
footage,
So.
and I have not, because the people I have on my YouTube have been watching it. So, but so I've seen quite a bit of it, and I realize like the game's ginormous, so I probably have not seen even a fraction of the actual game itself. But from a preview standpoint, I have seen a lot already. The thing I'm seeing a lot is that it is very much Dragon's Dogma, which I do a little bit worry about with people coming into this game, because I don't think they realize what they're getting into. So we'll see, but it's not a hand-holding game. So when people realize there's no quest markers and stuff like that, they're probably going to have a fit.
Well, this already happened when the first game came out, but on a smaller scale because less people played it. This game, I think a lot of people are going to play because the hype's been fucking huge on it.
Yeah.
And I do agree. I think a lot of people are going to love it, but I do think it's going to be like an Elden Ring situation where like people are going to hear about it, like, why are they talking about this game? They're going to play it and they're going to be like, I can't play this, or I don't like this, or what the hell, or like Baldur's Gate 3.
They're not going to have the patience to put the time in to learn the game. So this is going to be one of those games you're going to have to meet the developer halfway to enjoy it. So
yeah, like it is just like an action game, but the exploration aspect and the questing, stuff like that, is going to be a little more involved than people who are looking for yellow paint.
Well, it's going to be like the Morrowind days where you go to a quest person, they go to blah, blah, blah in this direction, blah, 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 and you have to remember that.
Yeah.
So, but if you're looking for, I think if you're looking for a game where you just get to like exist in a world and just kind of like be in it, I think it's going to be great for a lot of people in that regard. So,
yeah. Well, luckily I've skipped a lot of the preview stuff because I was like, I don't really want to watch other people play the game, but
probably a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. It saved myself quite a bit because there's a lot of stuff I want to find out organically, but with something that's more organized as an overview, I feel like it'll be more flashing of gameplay and not just like straight up gameplay. So yeah, we should probably watch this.
Yep.
And we'll talk about it. So this is Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay overview. 3, 2, 1, go. Ugly dragon.
Hello everyone, my name is Hideaki Itsuno, and I'm the director of Dragon's Dogma 2, and I'm producer Yoshiaki Hirabayashi.
You have the same voice?
Dragon's Dogma 2 launches on March 22nd.
clones.
Today, we'd like to introduce some of the game's features. Dragon's Dogma 2 is a narrative-driven, open-world, action RPG set in an immersive fantasy world.
So true.
We hope players feel like they've been reborn in this vibrant new world.
Man, the world looks
Join
so much
forces
better than the
with
original.
pawns skilled with various weapons to form a party of up to 4. While this is a single-player game, forming parties will recreate the feel of being on an adventure with friends. Players will encounter legendary monsters as they venture through the distinct areas of the game. Some monsters fly through the air with dynamic attacks, while others are more cunning and mysterious. Some appear at night,
I heard that you can skip her
and others are
completely.
colossal in nature.
it's
They
like
will
all-
create a variety of challenges for the
You
player.
get one chance to fight her,
Test your
you don't.
decision-making
Or
ability
you
and
don't beat her,
creativity
you
using
don't
your
see her again.
vocation and the surrounding environment.
Action's really good.
Yeah.
Of course, you can always choose to run away.
Probably should sometimes.
If you run somewhere occupied by other characters, you may end up
It's
naturally
actually
joining
impressive
forces.
through there.
But reactions will vary character to character. Some will be frightened, while others will show courage. Their relationship with you, the Arisen, will vary based on the actions you take. That, in turn, will change their relationships with each other.
Damn.
A variety of characters await you on your journey through Dragon's Dogma 2. Over 1,000 characters inhabit the world, each with their own unique stories and motivations. They will sometimes ask for your help, marking the beginning of a new quest. Quests have an array of different objectives, from saving people being attacked by monsters and avoiding detection as you sneak into a location, to locating and delivering valuable items.
Ah, I see you desire one of my
That is straight up.
masterpieces.
They put
Very
the bowl
well.
on your head.
In some situations, combat isn't your only option. One alternative might be to make a counterfeit item and see if you can pass it off as the real thing. The world is a complex web of human relationships, and the player's choices have consequences. We've expanded the world of the original game to make it a denser, more elaborate experience, enabling players to fully inhabit the role of the Arisen. We have several announcements ahead of the release of the game. First, take a look at this video.
Yes, when that was announced.
Oh, I've been in there.
Yeah, we've seen all the fucking crazy creations that come out of that thing.
Starting today, players can create and edit their Arisen protagonist and main pawn in the Dragon's Dogma 2 Character Creator in storage.
Sarah's definitely been in there.
Of course, you'll be able to transfer the character
She lived
data
in
to
there
the
for
full
3
version
days.
of the game. Up to 5 Arisen and 5 pawns can be created. This is the perfect opportunity to prepare for the adventure before the release of the game. Furthermore, we are planning to have some of the pawns created by specific players as
That's
official
amazing.
pawns. Players will be able to hire up to 2 of these pawns to aid them on their journey.
What is like a plague?
We will have more details about official pawns and who they will be in the near future. Please watch for updates. Dragon's Dogma 2 is now available for pre-order. The Standard Edition and the Deluxe Edition both include pre-order bonuses. We hope you consider pre-ordering. The March 22nd release date is right around the corner. We
True,
here
dude.
on the Dragon's Dogma 2 team are thrilled for you to experience this game. Thanks for your patience.
Then we'll watch the next video, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Although all I have to say is I'm fucking stoked. But okay. This is Welcome to Dragon's Dogma 2, presented by Ian McShane.
A world touched by magic, a symphony of myth and reality, an everlasting saga of hearts set ablaze. Lend me a moment, and I'll tell you a story of a fantastic
Stay a while and listen.
For untold eons, a dragon has plagued the world. Its ominous shadow looms over the lands, a dreadful creature of chaos and awe, with tales of its cruelty echoing far and wide.
Personally assaulted by a dragon.
No mortal would dare to dream
I
of
did trace
challenging
that
the
one.
dragon in single combat, yet there is one who must.
Now imagine, like,
In a
Seeing
legendary
a
tale
giant
doomed to repeat across the ages,
effectively lizard. And going, I'm gonna hit that with a sword.
the dragon chooses a worthy champion
be out
from
there.
each generation. Wrenching the beating heart from their
I
chest
remember this.
and forging a being known as the Arisen. This hero, marked by fate and burdened by their lost humanity, must rise from the trappings of ordinary life and answer the call to take up arms in search of the dragon who stole their heart.
Like romantically?
But the path of the Arisen is not a solitary journey, for they are granted access to the rift,
I'm
the
so
thread
stoked to see what people make.
connecting worlds,
I see you recognize my work, Arisen.
where they can summon mystical
legit.
beings from parallel realities. The loyal and hard-working.
I'm glad they put that much
Hordes,
work into the character models, because the whole
Masters of
pawn
archery.
system, like, it really gives you some
wielders of potent spells and skilled in
Individuality.
the arts of
Well,
sword
if this
play
is like
and
first
melee.
game, which I assume it is,
The pawns become the
their
Arisen's
experiences will
companions
be
and
like
confidants
basically
I hope
the
you slept
tabs.
well, Master.
as they go forth on their journey together.
I just remember character models weren't that great looking in the original game, so it's a huge, not just graphically, it's a huge step up in effort.
In pursuit of the beckoning dragon, the Arisen and their
Love
pawns
that lighting.
set foot across two nations,
They're lack
as
thereof at
disparate
night.
in terrain as they are in their ways of life. In Vermont, a fertile land cradled by alpine peaks and rolling hills, the fortress city stands as a bastion of prosperity and security. Cascading waterfalls and serpentine rivers flow throughout the countryside, feeding into fruitful farms where a feeling of abundance permeates the fresh air. Just above the capital city, Vernworth Palace rises proudly.
You are approaching the gates of Vernworth.
I still don't know what
Here,
fucking
the
class I'm
Arisen
gonna
is
pick.
traditionally revered as the
I don't play
sovereign,
them all, but like
a
I'm really
monarch
mixed between
crowned by destiny
the warrior
and looked
type
upon
and
as a champion,
sneaky guy.
protecting the land from the dragon's scourge.
It's funny because I was
Beyond
thinking wizard or
Vernworth's
archer.
verdant
So
embrace lies Batal, the nation of Beastren, a land of unforgiving deserts. Its shifting sands
I don't like
and
deserts,
jagged
but
canyons
that has a lot of
require
texture going on.
creative thinking
Yeah.
to traverse. With gondolas connecting precarious outposts.
Yeah, the world looks so much bigger than the first
Here,
game.
the Arisen is not an esteemed sovereign, but an outsider.
Is it
Their
like 4
pawn
times the
companions
size or
believed to
something?
be a source of grave
What was that?
misfortune.
I think it's like 4 times the size.
Batal's
of the original
rulers
game.
are not of human lineage, but rather Beastren priestesses who worship the lambent flame. For the Beastren believe its sacred fires shield them from the calamity of the dragon. Meanwhile, outside the reaches of human and Beastren, hidden within the depths of the forest, an ancient sect of elves
I'm not
resides
biased
in
or
seclusion,
anything.
speaking in a tongue known
I don't
only
have
to
to like
them,
trees because
and
of where I
avoiding
live, but
contact
this
with
is
other
up my alley.
races. On their journey, the Arisen will navigate through conflicts between species and the complexities of culture, faith, and history in each land. The choices the Arisen makes will shape not only their future, and that of those with whom they
It's pretty
interact,
cool, yeah.
but the future of the world itself. The Arisen's odyssey is fraught with peril.
Yeah.
For the world
Just
is home
fucking
not only
unloaded.
to human
Oh, yeah,
and
dude.
beast
Love
but
that.
to all manner of monsters, hungering to defeat the hero and their pawns.
That's cool.
Each step of the way is marked with blood and sweat shed in the face of relentless adversaries. The harrowing shrieks of harpies reverberate through the mountains and
Like a
canyons.
fucking saw, just
Resourceful
blasting
goblins
through 'em.
lurk in the shadows, skillfully adapting to the terrain and waiting to ambush in groups. The footsteps of lumbering golems,
Man, all
animated by
animations are
powerful
so
charms,
good.
shake the earth
This is
and
easily gonna
raffle
be
the Arisen's
fucking
bones.
top 5, top 3 games of the year.
When the sun sets,
Up we get. We can expect a busy
This
night.
part I'm gonna hate.
skeletons, ghosts, and undead rise from their slumber. A single undead, murmuring to itself, adrift in memories of its living past.
Definitely don't
haunting
want to use
sight.
sword and board.
But a horde of undead, united in a mindless nocturnal frenzy, is a truly nightmarish test of metal.
Decided not to make a cast of
And the mightiest foes are monsters most only seen in myths.
Yeah.
The Minotaurs trampling hooves. The Medusa with its petrifying gaze.
The like slow cockback and swing power moves reminds me of like Monster Hunter
in
almost.
even the most stout-hearted. And with every exhilarating encounter, the hero must think creatively. It will take cleverness.
I like that shit
as
too,
well as
though.
courage to conquer the three heads of the Chimera, slay the soaring
Whatever
griffin,
you making,
and
take
overpower
consideration
the
of Pawn
bronze
too.
giant, Talos.
I'm not gonna play Wizard, so it's
Each
fun.
victory emboldens
I mean, eventually I'll
the
make one, but
and
Well, yeah,
prepares
your
them
pawn.
for the inevitable
Oh, yeah,
showdown
'cause you
with
can
the
borrow
indomitable
pawns.
dragon.
Yeah,
The culmination of both their destinies.
well, yeah, whatever I make, let's make together. What I want to make.
Welcome
Pawns.
to Dragon's Dogma 2.
I should probably download that character creator.
That's pretty cool.
What does that do though?
PlayStation.
All right. Well, what do we think? Looks awesome.
We were kind of saying it already, but
Yep.
yeah, the game, like visually, is just a treat. Just gotta hope like it plays good and like
It's gonna.
the all the stuff to do in it is actually like engaging enough to keep you playing. But it looks fantastic. This kind of stuff's always fun to me because it's like living like basically like a D&D adventure, basically. So and there are a couple games that can give you that kind of vibe, but it's a big commitment to do that. So
Now let's just hope Luke Huey will make a fucking multiplayer mod. It'd be sick.
I mean, probably. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing the type of characters people make. I'm excited to like bring pawns along with me, because I know in the first game, like if like your pawn had fought something before and I hadn't fought it yet, it would like, very naturally be like, oh, these things are weak to fire. We should use fire stuff. And it's like they're trying to have a conversation with you about their experiences they've gone through and stuff, which I think is kind of a cool system. The environments are all super cool, especially for someone who hates deserts. The desert like looks good. So
Well, it's not like a big flat like dune style desert. It's like had like elevation and texture and details and
it had like arid plant life and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just way more interesting, which I very much appreciate. Thank you.
yeah. I think people are more and more nailing deserts than
Yeah.
they used to. I think there's been a lot of lessons learned.
Yeah, I mean, just overall looks great. I don't know if I'm gonna have time for this game. It's probably gonna take me the whole year just to play the thing, but
It's at least for the first week gonna be my priority until something else comes out. But yeah, this is a game that just with how densely packed it is with stuff, I really feel like I'm gonna need to force myself to just really savor the game and play it at a slower pace and really take in everything, because there's just so much shit they're showing that I'm just like, I don't want to feel like I'm being rushed or I gotta keep up with the main story or whatever. Like I'm just gonna play this as take my time with it.
yeah.
and
Well,
really savor it.
I genuinely think that's the best way to enjoy a world, anyways.
Yeah.
Is if you're in a rush, it starts feeling like work instead of like
Yeah,
an
but
experience.
but some games worlds aren't that interesting and the side stuff's not worth it, so I will just play through it.
Sure.
But this one definitely looks like it's gonna be worth exploring, like Elden Ring.
Right. Yeah. Any closer to figuring out what you're playing?
No, not at all. It's going to be either the rogue dude or the fighter guy, though, because they both have things I like about it. I like the power of the fighter guy, and I like the crazy fucking speed and aerial stuff with the rogue guy, which is what I played in the first game. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I kind of don't want to play it, but there's a bunch of new stuff, so it'll be a whole new experience. And this game looks like it plays way better than the first one. One thing I'm also noticing too is in the original game you could swing upward. There's a button dedicated for swinging upward. Right. I'm not really seeing that here, and I hope it's gone.
Yeah, I assume it's modernized.
As much as I prefer, or not prefer, as much as I respect that they tried something with a game that they're like, there's gonna be things in the air, you should be able to attack vertically. I didn't use it a lot. I was jumping and swinging a lot and climbing onto them. And hopefully, there's like, a lot of people didn't use that. Let's just get rid of it. Maybe it's still in the game, but I don't see it in these previews ever. So
yeah,
it's really interesting. But yeah, overall, especially the second preview, like right here, the graphics are actually really good in this game. Like it's a really good looking game, which is nice. Because the original game, you played it, but you didn't play it because it looked great. Like the world was cool the way it's designed, but you played it for the combat. The combat was fucking awesome. This game definitely is like a really good looking game. Like the character models are great. The world is super detailed. The view distance really lets you take in these vistas and like the castles in the background and stuff. The combat looks better than ever. That he pulled that dude at him and he ragdolled in the air and then he caught him and started swinging at him.
Yeah, the physics are awesome.
That's crazy. Like this here like reminds me of something out of like Metal Gear Solid 5 or something. Just the movements and stuff. This game is just gonna be, not only is it gonna have the adventure aspect of like you're going around and taking on missions and exploring places, but every fight, because of the amount of physics and abilities you have and your pawns, every fight's gonna feel different. It's always gonna be a new experience, a different dynamic experience, and I'm really excited for that because the first game did that really well, and this game looks like that on crack. So I'm really excited for that. I'm also really excited to see what kind of gears in the game, what kind of things to find and explore for. It does look like there's a lot of armors and weapons. That pole arm that was like a two-sided spear thing or sword looked fucking awesome. Also, the zombie stuff's really neat. It looks like, it looks almost like Resident Evil, like that there's like zombie hordes walking around. So I like that, even though this almost sold me on the magic user, just blasting a whole crowd with that. But I'm not going to play that first. Right here is fucking dope too. Where it goes boom and just cracks him in the head. I love that. But yeah, overall, looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to play it. I can sit here and just gush on what we're seeing here, but the game comes out really soon, so I'm sure we'll have plenty to say on it when we play it. I will be very surprised if this game is even just okay, let alone bad. I think this game is going to be easily a lot of people's at least top 5 to top 3 games of the year, and probably will get a game of the year nod. Just looking at it, the quality is just fucking really good. So yeah, really excited to play probably one of the biggest games of the year very soon. So yeah, I'm really excited. Anything else? Let us know in the comments how excited you are for Dragon's Dogma 2. Unless you're not, that's also equally welcome. Let us know why you're not excited for it. Have you played the one or the original one? And what'd you think of that? And what class you're gonna play in this? What are you most excited about in terms of like mechanics, world, gear, all that kind of stuff? And have you used the character creator? What'd you think of it? Let us know everything you think about in the comments below when it comes to Dragon's Dogma 2. Get pumped. It's coming out really soon. Also, if you know, what does this Ring of Assurance do? What is this shit? Because I haven't looked into it. All right, it's that time again where we reflect on past episodes and read your comments. If you want your comment read, for sure, type in hashtag STLG. Otherwise, I read at random. We reviewed Temtem. And the reason I'm even picking this video to read some of the comments is somebody basically asked me if the game's worth playing. And I figured it would be a good thing to get Chevy's take on this as well, because we reviewed it. We talk about it in detail. I would encourage you guys to go watch this if you want the full thoughts of it. But just simply put, we got one from, what is that? HTML_pics 5374 saying, so is it still worth it? I want to play it, but I heard the game is dead. This is actually kind of funny because Chevy had brought up when it got pulled originally, what if the game's dead? Like, because we hadn't really been looking into it or not. And luckily it wasn't, although right after we played this and reviewed it, the team behind it said they are done supporting it. They're going to make it so you can keep playing it, but it's done. Like the support for it's dead, but the game's not dead. So with that, with our experience playing it, and with that known, what would you say? Is the game dead? Is it worth playing? And yeah,
I think it depends what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for a multiplayer game, there are still people running around for sure. I just don't know if there's longevity in that regard. But if you're just looking for a single player game, like just play it.
Or even if you can still co-op with a friend, I think it'd still definitely be worth playing.
Yeah, but I mean, if you just look at it as if you're playing through like, a single player Pokemon game, basically, you're still going to be able to have that experience. I can't speak obviously to endgame. We didn't get there, but the little bit I played, the formula is pretty spot on. So just give it a shot.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. If you're looking for an alternative to Pokemon, I would say it's worth it. From what we played, I was having fun with it, and the co-op makes it even better. So if you have a friend to play with, it's definitely worth playing with a friend. Hopefully, as the support for the game dies down, they at least maintain. If they get rid of the MMO stuff, that would suck, but also understandable. But as long as you can still play with a friend, I think the game is completely worth your time, specifically because there is a whole game finished with an end game that if you're okay with, like you were kind of saying, playing through and beating Pokemon, collecting all the Pokemon, and that's the end of that game until the next one. This has that experience. So I would say it's worth playing, unless you are looking for that MMO experience, in which this game fell flat on when it came out, because that's the biggest complaint about the game, is it's not the MMO people thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
If you can get past that and just understand that it is a co-opable Pokemon alternative, I think you'll have fun. So
true.
I do think it's worth playing. So yeah, anything else?
No.
All right. Thanks for the comment. And we got a couple other ones. We got Yuki, the introverted gamer, saying gym leaders, not gym masters, because we were trying to remember what they were called in that review. And Temtem sucks. I mean, to me it does. I prefer Nexomon and Nexomon Extinction. Y'all should try it out. So I appreciate that you're giving us a game to try. I don't know what it is, though. Do you know what Nexomon is?
I don't know that one at all. In fact,
I haven't heard of it.
You've kind of piqued my interest a little bit, because I kind of like the direction Pokemon's going. So
yeah, it's a perfect time now for Temtem to continue support, but also people to make Pokemon games like Pal World, because Pokemon's in a place where people are looking for alternatives. So so whatever Nexomon is, we'll have to look into it. Maybe it's a joke. Maybe it's not a real game. I don't know, but I've never heard of it.
They've got two different names there. I would assume it's real. So.
Maybe they're being really creative. So yeah, thanks for the correction on the gym leaders and gym masters. Been a long time for me specifically, but Chevy hasn't been playing them recently either. And Temtem sucks. We all got our opinions on that. I would be curious, if you do watch this, you likely won't be coming back, but you probably were passing by. But if you do come back, let me know why you think Temtem sucks. I'm actually genuinely curious. What don't you like about it? And we'll have to look into Nexomon. Thank you for the comment. And then what's the top one name?
DD2.
DD2 says, I've been meaning to get it, but I missed the sale, so it's back to full price. I'll wait till it's on sale again. Great review. Thank you for the great review. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was actually a fun review to do, because it was almost like discovering the game again, and we both came out of it having had fun with it in a kind of complicated landscape of this game's at the end of its life. So it's a really weird time for us to hop in, and our views are actually higher for game of the month than they typically are. So kind of
like definitely like a more of a personal show.
Yeah. And so it's kind of interesting to see that people are actually like looking to see what people think about kind of the end of its life, and that was unintentional on our part. It was all random. So it's kind of interesting to be able to join the conversation this late, but at a kind of important time in the game's life. So thank you. Also, Steam sale is happening right now, so if you're watching this, go check and see if it's on sale, because it might be the time for you to finally pick up Temtem. Otherwise, you might be waiting a couple more months until the next Steam sale, because they're always fucking happening. And yeah, if you play it and you hear me saying this, let me know what you thought of it when you play it. Okay, anything to add to that?
The only thing I was gonna say is I don't remember the game costing anything, so like obviously,
Yeah, I don't know how much it is.
I'm a little thrown off. For some reason, my brain was like, it's free to play, but
No,
I mean, obviously
we bought
that's
it.
not the case. So, yeah, I guess I wouldn't have been of much help for you in that. Yeah, I would definitely pick it up on sale. I wouldn't pick it up full price, especially if they're not going to support it anymore. So.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, if they're down with it, then get it at a good price.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who commented. Thank you everybody who watched that review. Check it out if you haven't. We had a really good conversation about that. And thank you everybody who watched this Tasty Cast. I've been Seth. Thank you, Chevy, for joining me for this conversation. Thank you guys for joining us for this conversation. I'm very tired. And until the next episode, have a good one, guys, and take it easy.